there might be some merit to this. About 2 days later, Janie walks into my office. She says, "Hey, I'm the new reporter from the Dave here. I'm here for the summer as an intern, and I'd love to do a story in North Stonington. What do you got?" And I said, "Well, we've got our budget and, blah, blah, blah." So, but I got this other story. And I said, it's a sports bubble that we're trying to develop the idea of. And I've got this developer who would love to possibly do it. And what do you think about that? So she grabbed onto it, her editor grabbed onto it, and 3 days later, we're on the front page of the day. So I guess it must be a good idea. I did call and email my 8 neighboring towns. All 8 towns expressed interest in, if this came to fruition, how they could use it because of the big void. You'll see on the map over there that right now you have to drive to North Kingstown, Rhode Island, or Montville, Connecticut to have a facility, anything like this. And none of those facilities are going to be anything like this. This is a much nicer, much all-inclusive facility as far as different activities. So that's how we got here today. It was between Janie's work getting us in the paper. Even the sports editor gave us a shout out to say, "Why did New London think of this? Why is this happening in North Stonington?" And it's a perfect place to happen in North Stonington. The land is the perfect piece of land. It's in the middle of about 8 different facilities, including Westlake, Rhode Island, and Ashway, Rhode Island. So it could be a facility that could help our state and part of Rhode Island at the same time. So again, Domex is here, and they're going to start in a second. I do want to thank Home Depot for providing the food today for this event. I appreciate that. I didn't even know we were going to do all food until you called me and said, "Oh, I got the food all covered." I was going to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I think, or something. So so we got the food and also Gourmet Galley for putting this together for us. So Guy is going to be our first speaker. If you have any questions, if you could, since this is being recorded, if you can go up to this microphone if you have a question, and the presentation will happen from here. But thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Hopefully, in about a year or so, we might have. All right. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, give me a second to set up over here. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this presentation. My name is Guy Schmuel. I'm with the Domex, which is the developer for this sports dome concept. I'd like to start by thanking Bob Carlson, First Selectman of North Stonington, for hosting and for initiating this whole process. I'd like to thank Home Depot and Kevin sitting in the back there for sponsoring our lunch over here. For any of you online, you should definitely try to make it in person next time. And finally, Gourmet Galley for bringing this great food for us today. So a few quick introductions to the people presenting today. Right over here, we have Marquis Boban. He is also with Domex. Next, we will have Donato Frioli of ASATI, their manufacturer of sports domes. And right at the end, you will have your question and answer session with Damian Barrett right over here. So the plan for this presentation is that I'll go over an intro to our project. Then Donato will talk about the actual proposed dome. They have a lot of experience in putting these up all over the country, in fact, the world, right? Beautiful. Marquis will then talk about the market demand and proposed marketing for the project. And finally, as I said, Damien will close out with the presentation with and moderate a Q&A session. All right, so let's hope this works. Am I pressing the wrong button? Arrow button should work. All right. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So our mission Our mission is to deliver an unmatched year-round indoor sports and entertainment experience that will uplift and inspire the communities we serve, right? We're committed to providing first-rate facilities and knowledgeable instruction in a vibrant technology and advancing setting that will bring together athletes, families, fans of all ages under one roof for memorable events. What I'd like to point out here, there are many stakeholders in this. We've got vendors, we've got investors, we've got financiers, but by far the most important are the local municipalities and the people that you represent. Okay, so when we talk about community, that's you, and that's what this is all about. Where am I supposed to point it? Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so vision and opportunity. North Stony Sports Dome and Adventure Complex will be state-of-the-art indoor and entertainment complex. It will be a premier destination for high-performance sports, training, recreation, play, and community gatherings in the region. Our focus on year-round multi-sports offering cutting-edge and tech-infused experiences will make the complex the first choice for athletes, family, community members seeking excellence in sports, wellness, and entertainment. Okay. All right. So, really what I'd like you to do is imagine you could put up 100,000 square foot gym complex in your town for the use, for your use. What will you use it for? Okay. Think outside the box, the proverbial box, right? We're not only for sports. You can use this for social events. You can use this for special events, community gatherings, and like in this season, we talk about graduations and things like that, right? So all these community events. All right, now. So before Bob gave us these amazing maps and showed us how needed we were. We put this together, this slide together. But really, if you have time at the end, go take a look at these maps that were provided to us and see where the competition is. And really, we're looking at a very long travel time between here and where you would have to go to the next sports site. All right, next I'd like to call up Donato. There we go, and he'll talk about that. All right.
So before I get going on what my family and my company has been able to do for the last 60 years, it's always a very exciting experience for me to watch a community come together with some really good brain power and vision behind it, because what we're seeing here today is what I do this around the country, around the world. And when we get to put one of these air supported structures in a town, you see so much change. It's good for the children because they have a 365-day area to play sports. It's good for the elderly because in the winters they have walking tracks. It really infuses a community with a lot of flavor and a lot of opportunity to do all of these incredible events, whether it's sports, boat shows, graduations, camps. It's really a unique facility for a community to have. Now, like I said, we've been doing this 60 years. My grandfather, actually the guy on the top left, now 83, has been doing this since 1962. We have done everything you can imagine. It started with a small military radomes where we were covering radar antennas around the country because at the time it was the only way to protect our military's radar antennas from the elements. And a small group of doctors came to him and said, well, can you build me one of these for a tennis court? So fast forward 60 years, people kept coming and people kept asking. And we have had the opportunity to build every single first of its kind. And it doesn't stop with sports. It's like we've done the biggest soccer domes, we've done ice rinks, but we've also had the pleasure to do large industrial coverings for bulk storage, for indoor shrimp farms. So I have a very, very cool job, and every day I don't know what the phone will ring about. These are A1 facilities. This is what our NFL teams use. This is what our MLS teams use. This is what the D1, D2, D3 teams use. And Damien came to us because what we do is we build the best. And that's not just me saying that. I am known for building the world's most challenging products, because what we build, and we'll talk a little bit about that through our 25 plus patents, allows me to build things like the Miami Dolphins Category 4 hurricane certified buildings. The other nice part is our manufacturing headquarters is just a couple hours drive from here. Our office is just about an hour and a half drive from here. Everything is made here in the USA, something that's a challenge for me every day, but something I have great pride in. There you go. So I'm sure you'll have many questions about an air structure. Not everyone has, seen or, been in one of these before, but basically they're a fabric covering inflated by air. The air inside is what gives it its structural stability. One of our big claims to fame is that hairnet-like system you see over the top. The idea came to us, actually my grandfather, when he was looking at hot air balloons, lightweight fabric that take a lot of resistance. And what occurs is the internal pressure goes to the fabric, transfers to the cable and down to the foundation. The more air pressure we put in the fabric or into the building, it's like taking a building built with wood columns and changing them to steel columns. So I can handle 60-pound ground snow loads like at the University of Maine. And as mentioned, Category 4 hurricane wind loads as we do in Miami. We have very high-end European fabrics. We also can use American-made fabrics. It just depends on what's right for the project. Nothing we bring over is, from low-cost, cheap Chinese-type goods. We have very high insulation values. I am an environmental engineer by schooling, so something that's important to me is to have a very energy efficient building. So our HVAC systems are all set up with eco mode, scheduling. So we have, low environmental impact, and I'm actually the final contender for the U.S. Army, building them all of our, basically their new training facilities. It's sidebar, but a large passion project that's become of mine. It's amazing what our troops train in now. It's so different than what, we're so lucky to have as private organizations or large schools and sports organizations. So I was able to get our structures. Right now, they're looking to be LEED certified, which is super exciting for us. It was a big breakthrough. And we have all these incredible controls. So if high winds and snow comes, the pressure automatically raises in the building, giving it more wind resistance. Also helps ownership manage the heating, cooling, and any alarms in the building. So we really try to advance the product over the years. This is the quality of stuff we're going to bring. That's the second largest sports dome in the world. Last week, I put up the largest sports dome in the world. This we built in 2019 out in Colorado. It's whatever your mind imagines, right? So we have hard sports court flooring here, services pickleball, volleyball, basketball. We also have the fields are all lined for indoor baseball, soccer, lacrosse, any basically field sport you're looking for. So just wanted to give you, we're going to run through a couple structures here, a good feeling about what the end result of this product will be. This was built for the COO of Amazon, Jeff Wilkie, and his brother. You can see this is a full sports operation here, outdoor field, indoor fields, under the dome, and then a hard building where there were some ancillary items like a game room, concessions. There'll be a similar setup here for Dome X. And the last would be, and this is actually a new one up in New England Sports Hub up in Somersworth, New Hampshire. Really cool setup this gentleman did. He has a full TrackMan golf simulator with bays where you could see over 100 yards across. It tracks the ball. He has all indoor dining there. It's a really, I really like what this group did. I think they took it really to the next level. All of the indoor sports field, all of the golf. He is slam packed all the time because it's either too hot or too cold. We live here in the Northeast and we have those 10, 15 days a year you can be outside. But besides that, having an indoor space is really important. And it really, the sky's the limit. And I know these guys are going to do a great job at blowing this facility out. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you to tell me a little about the market, Marquise. Thank you.
So, as you've heard, we have the idea that was brought to us to build a dome facility for indoor sports that would service not just North Stonington, but the surrounding communities. As we figure out, one of the questions that builders we ask ourselves is there an opportunity for us to actually do something that will work for us as a business? And the answer is yes. There's increased interest in pickleball, youth travel sports, and other things, as well as where we're located because of the nexus between Foxwood and other facilities similar to that. We believe that there would be good traffic for us to have a viable entity. But having said all that, the bottom line is that we believe that the communities, as you will see from some of these slides that we have, 50-mile radius, we have over approximately 1.1 million residents, households that 260,000 plus with children that would be served, that could be served by this. The demographics really speaks to the opportunity as we see it. When I started looking into, will these numbers work for us? Intellectually, I thought, yeah, it worked. But it was great to see it visually displayed. Where we are, it's just a hollowed out. There's nothing here. So we believe that not only will this serve North Stonington and the coastal communities, but we believe that even further communities that have never even thought about North Stonington will come. So we're excited about that possibility as well. And this is more information about the demographics and how their spending habits. For us, that's an important thing, but I'm not sure you guys are necessarily interested in that. So we will serve, as many people already mentioned, local leagues, school, sports, clubs. Our primary focus, obviously, would be the community members. But we, of course, will leave it open for other organizations as the opportunity arises. Building that type of structure, we believe that we would have the opportunity to bringing interesting things. I like to say, think outside the box. I'm a gearhead, so that's why car shows are on the top. But that's just ideas, live performances, and we like to talk a lot about different ideas. We sometimes we'll just riff off each other. And one of the things we talked about, do you guys have any local bands? Do you have local, guys that are trying to make it? This could be a venue for them to actually get a start. So, this is just a list we threw together of some, these towns are the ones that actually responded to an email that went out, but we're not excluding anyone. We're just saying that these are the possibilities of partners that could participate in this. So we've decided we're going to build it. So it's not a if, we will do it. It's going to happen. And as you can see, we have a very aggressive timeline. We have experience with building footprint. That's what we do. This dome, compared to the things that we build, is relatively easy. So we're pretty confident that we can hit the time frame. So we're going to do it, and we're going to do it on time. The question is, will the community be in? If you're in, we'll get it done. All right. And of course, around the opening, being the type of organization we are, we will be blanketing the different outlets to make sure that folks know we're here. And as we move towards the opening, we will have an event schedule where we would, of course, have live sports exhibition, soccer, basketball, lacrosse. We will invite pros and college trainers to come in and give clinics. And of course, always got to have fun with the DJ, got to have the music, food trucks, and as well as swag bags. So, this is the development team that's involved. Some of them are not here. Damien, Guy, and I are here. And again, thanks to Home Depot for sponsoring this, and for Gomer Gallery for providing the food. We just want to say that we're excited. I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but we've been here for over 10 years. We've just been very quiet about it. But the time is now, and we're excited to partner with you. And I'd like to introduce my partner and my cousin, Damien Barrett.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, definitely. Pretty much, Domex is literally looking to be a part of the community and be able to provide the service to the community, surrounding community as well. What we really want to know, and from the public as well, and from the local residents, what that should look like in terms of from the schooling to the team building for some of the corporates around here. Have Eversource here. We have all that might have their own team workshop. They want to have leagues or whatever going on. We're here to supply the space and the time to make that possible. And, and any concern that anyone have, that we'd love to hear from the public and what their thoughts are. All right, let's go for it. I think you gotta use the mic. You gotta use the mic. So
First of all, thank you very much for
Thank you.
entertaining this proposal. I think it's very needed. I'm the superintendent of schools, Troy
Okay.
Hopkins in North Stonington.
Okay.
People who don't know. We are crunched for gym space, always. This facility, as you've explained it, I think there's a great need for it for our town, and I think the surrounding towns. But I also want to make sure that you don't limit yourself.
Correct.
Okay, so I have a few ideas that you can consider if you do this. You had mentioned a walking track.
Right.
We actually have a need for a running track as well. We started an indoor track team 2 years ago for like 30 some kids. They have no track to run on. We don't really even have an outdoor track to run on.
Okay.
And in the area, there's Coast Guard Academy or New Haven where kids have to go for track meets. So I'm just suggesting throwing it out there. It probably can't fit in your main bubble, but a second bubble just for indoor track
Okay.
and possibly swimming pool attached,
Okay.
because it's really hard to find an indoor swimming pool around this area. And we do have a lot of people who like to swim. So I wanted to mention that. Also, I don't know how big the acreage is in this lot,
Mhm.
but I like your idea of outdoor fields as well.
Correct.
Because that's also an issue, and we have, soccer, lacrosse, town rec, other people that want to use our fields. We just don't have enough outdoor field space.
Correct.
So that's an idea. And also consider, if you have enough space, actually building an outdoor track on the facility as well. And you could have regional large track meets there. And yes, our team can go a few miles down the road and use it as well, which it'd be
All right, so
helpful.
Sebastian, take notes on that, because that's what you got to be able to make sure that fits into 110,000 square foot facility as well. So that's also a good, because we thought about that. We were thought about the idea the seniors can go for a walk inside the track. So that was we're going to
Yeah.
create a walking track. for
I
that.
think that's better. That's great. I think to have a walking track is wonderful for people to use that. Maybe our indoor track team can go there and, jog quickly. But tight corners, I'm sure it'll be tight corners, and it won't be a facility that you could do an indoor track meet at, probably. Unless, so that's why I'm proposing, maybe you just look for future expansion of a possible secondary bubble that's focused on indoor track.
All right, thank you. I got to hit your mic.
You can click that mic.
It's on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So actually, we have done, many indoor tracks in the past. Actually, Utica College in upstate New York is a competition indoor track. My high school actually used to go there for large indoor track meets in the winter. So you can have a competition level track, something like that. But you can also, Rutgers University has their football structure with us. It was actually in the presentation, and they have a walking track inside that their track team uses as well. In a similar manner where you were saying it is tight corners, but still allows them to practice in the wintertime so that they're prepared for the larger events. So, whatever works with the actual property available, anything you want to put in air structure, you can do in some manner. Like Donato said, we've pretty much done every first of its kind structure, including industrial projects. So, it's completely up to you what you'd like to put inside. Or David.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Hello. Okay. Thanks. Mike Ergo, Kingswood resident. Thank you for the presentation today. Two things with regards to this facility. I didn't hear superintendent just mentioned it, but an idea about a pool, a community pool. And I want to make sure like specifically about the possibility of doing like a 50-meter pool in this facility. And I say that because there are no 50-meter pools anywhere close to here that are available for use. And you can make money with a 50-meter pool. There are a lot of teams that would like to use it for different swim meets and things like that. I think the closest one that's like a public pool is in Warwick. It's really not great. There's some at colleges, but they're hard to get to. And if you build a pool that's that large, you can actually, you section it off so it could be used at times for clubs or whatever, and also community. So I know it's a larger facility, a larger thing to try to build, but I think financially it would be something to definitely consider. And certainly just looking at the map, you looked at other sports, but I don't think swim was really looked at, and it's definitely a need around here. And I know because I had two swimmers who we traveled a lot for swimming. And then just my second comment is I did hear him talk about the bubble and how he was pursuing LEED certification. And I hope we don't lose sight of the sustainability of a project like this, especially I think the proximity, to the casino, to the tribes, to make sure, North Stonington, I think pride ourselves on being like a sustainable community. And so I'd like to make sure that doesn't lose focus considering, solar power, anything we can do to try to make sure that's a sustainably sourced project if it actually happens.
No, we're definitely looking into that right now. Currently, we're having conversation of, we call it cogen plant, but it's something similar to that help for the heating of the pool as well. So we are looking at the pool because the community kind of is getting the feedback that they wanted something, but we were not thinking a 50-meter pool, but if there's a region to make it, we're thinking regional here for this facility. So that's why the bubble is one of the largest going to be in the area, because we want all the leagues, the lacrosse league, to be host here. So that's the idea behind that. So we are looking at a pool situation. Automatically, we're doing that, but I didn't quite look at it as a 50-meter yet. So I'm going to look to develop.
I just would consider that because there are a few 25 meters around, but 50-meter will definitely get you a lot more exposure and interest because there just aren't any.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nick, person that you have a question for us? Okay, so for parking, it's about 2.5 acres going to be for parking to facilitate this facility. But as if it grows into something larger, 50-meter setup, then that's going to require more parking to be looked at.
How big a spot are you going to have of the total acreage you would control or be able to move into?
So we're building, we have almost 70 acres. So we intend to use for this part of the site somewhere around probably 10 to 12 acres. But again, the dome itself, it's only about 2.5 acres. And then, the adjacent that sets around the facility, it's about 25,000 square feet. So
I was thinking of something that used to be very popular. Down by Gourmet Galley, there's a field there. And that field used to there was a vendor or a coordinator that had a equipment auction, used auction.
oh, okay.
And he would sell 25 to 30 million dollars worth of equipment in 4 hours. And I tell you, it was a major attraction
Mhm,
for sightseers like myself
mhm.
or shoppers. And I was amazed at some of the things that happened.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, locally, we got plenty of rocks.
Yes, I do find that out.
Down south, they're very foreign.
Mhm.
And they would take bales of rocks. Maybe there was like 8 or 10, and they'd put them up. And 20 years ago, they were getting $800 a pallet. And then the person who bought the first one on the bid also had preference, and they usually took whatever was there because the prospective buyers didn't come in a pickup truck. They came in a flatbed,
Wow.
and they were ready to take everything away. And there was an awful lot of activity the day before coming in and the day after. It was really a unique thing, oddball. So I hope you'll continue to think out of the box, because you're going to get a lot of people who have nutty ideas, but sometimes nutty ideas are very good.
No, definitely. Thank you. Thank
It
you.
looks like a very good presentation and a nice facility.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. He's right.
Bill Ricker, member of the community.
Okay.
Have a few questions. I think some of them might be answered right today, and some to be considered. One is the life expectancy of the fabric. When might that be replaced?
So that's typically between 20, 25 years. That's what we've seen, even though my friend, his last 30 years, he just replaced it last August. And that's iSuch in the city of Mount Vernon. You just 30 years it lasted for. You just replaced it last August.
And the price of such a structure, is this per foot, per square yard? What is the cost of?
So it's varies based on what we're doing here. We're about 12 million, might go over a little bit more than that by looking at, if we look at 50-meter pool, it's going to change where we are. But right now we're spending 12 million to do what we're doing.
Safety. Has there ever been a structure failure?
Oh, Sebastian,
It's on.
So air structures are live structures, but Asadi puts certain redundancies in place that ensures the safety of the structure. Something like dual HVAC units that both can inflate the structure to its full capacity in extreme weather environments. So, for example, the structure that we showed up here, only 3 hours north of here, in Somersworth, New England Sports Hub, that structure actually has 3 units on it. It's a little bit larger than what Damien's looking to build, but we put these redundancies in place, multiple HVAC units, each with their own commercial generator, so that even in a loss of power or a fan failure, just similar to how, your car, something may go wrong in a 20-year life. You have these redundancies in place to avoid these certain failures.
I repeat, has there ever been a failure, a collapse?
Yes, structures have come down in the past. You know, we've been building structures for over 60 years. But the steps that we take today are to keep the structure from, seeing these extreme events. They happen very rarely, and Asadi has a much lower failure rate than others.
As a previous member of a community in Cheshire, Connecticut, their recreation department and in conjunction with the town put up a bubble around their pool structure, and it had difficulty for over 5 years staying up, collapsing, mold buildup within the structure because it was a swimming pool, et cetera. So I just addressed that as a possible.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We would look at that. Now, and number two as well, for the structure, if it ever deflates, that's going down, for that structure to actually come down, it would take 45 minutes for that structure to actually come down to the floor. Even if it's starting to fail, so there's precaution will be in place anyway, because the structure is just a front, so it's like a balloon does. It would take 45 minutes. That structure will come all the way down to get to the ground. So it allows for a fire. In case of
So that
fire.
addresses the safety issue.
Yeah, safety issue.
But, okay, it doesn't address the fact that vandalism, perhaps, has that ever been an issue?
But again, so the material, the fabric is not just one material, it's a layer of materials. And I do have a sample of it. I just brought it in.
I actually have a sample of it as well, so I'm happy to show it to you.
Okay,
Um,
I raised the question. I have no answers for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so-
No, I appreciate
so-
that. That's the point. We want to make sure you have, meet the concern of the community.
I too would be concerned about the surface of the parking area. There are semi-permeable surfaces that will allow for water dispersion rather than water runoff. And I would hope that that would be addressed.
Definitely. We're working with the planning department to make sure we kind of meet some of these needs. But just for our own, anyway, just for the property to be able to drainage, we have to do that because of the surface area covering for the parking lot. So we will be, permanent surface will be a big thing for us.
Well, there's a little question in my mind that this public and the surrounding towns are in need of such a facility, certainly now, and that will increase in the future as the communities in southeastern Connecticut build up. The hype, however, is that 50-mile radius. Understand that included Long Island. They're not going to use our facility. It includes Newport. They're not going to use our facility. So that's certainly a expanded population that I don't think is appropriate for you to be using.
Question.
Questions?
Radius area, of what's in that radius of what it covers, but it's not a target. Right now, the 5 or 10 communities that's neighboring town, that's where we are,
Understood.
but the distance, people are traveling right now, 60-minute drive to Massachusetts for some.
I understand.
So,
Questions that will arise from our communities, and that certainly one of my questions is, what cost will there be to the participating towns? I haven't heard anything about that. And the taxes, would that be going to the host town? Would that be shared among the community towns? I don't know
no, the
anything.
taxes will be, it's in the town of North Stonington. So whatever happens stays in North Stonington. The cost for this facility is not on North Stonington, nowhere from, they're not paying anything for that. The services that they will, if they're taking time, which they will, that would be what they're paying for, just like any other community.
Am I hearing that there is no cost to any of these towns?
No cost to any of the towns. The towns are going to be, whoever using the facility, they will be paying for that. So it will be a cost for them to use the facility. But there's no bond going out for North Stonington or Ledger.
So your revenue is through the use of the
Of the
building
facility, correct.
over that 25-year period.
Correct, exactly.
Okay, good. Thank you for.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. All right. Any other questions, any other thoughts? So so what is, Guy? We just want to stand and really tell you guys, thank you guys for coming out today. Anything that, any questions I'm sure there will be more questions come arise. Definitely you can reach out to me, a Guy or Marquis. Sue, I'm sure you will get some questions from the surrounding community as well. Whatever we need to do to answer those questions, we will. Any issues we have, our first selectman, Bob, I want to thank you as well. If you have any question, I'm sure Bob, his door is always open. He's getting his cell phone out, so I know he does everything. Oh, Bill. Okay, so yeah, so we're going to do we'll
Repeat the question, David.
Okay, you put it in.
Carl Johnston, also on the board with Bill. I think he wanted to ask you if you had or could prepare anything or have ready prepared for on-site storage of water or the water system and the septic system designs at all. Is what he
We're
was
working on that
approaching.
right now, so we have not got that yet, Bill, but we are talking with Mark as well, so we're looking at what that's going to look like. But it will be a septic system set up for that facility, basically, and will be well water and so on and so forth. That will be done there, definitely. So we're working through that. Any other questions? All right. All right, so. Okay, and again, the contact information, and I hope you guys get one of the handouts as well that shows, contact us, the Domex site as well is up. And anything you need, again, just email any questions, just email. We will be looking into the 50-meter pool situation, see what that's going to look like, and try to see what that would look like in terms of time and demand for the neighborhood and the community around that can use it. All right. So let me thank you guys again. Thanks to everyone for coming out, and thanks everyone online as well that's watching. We appreciate that support and anything we can do to answer any questions you guys have. Thank you guys. All right.